This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes, and if you're not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
Drop it.
Welcome back to another edition of the Ball Don't Lie podcast. We are in season 4, episode 6. Brought to you here by Three Beards Media and our sponsors at Revelton Distilling Company. Smule, what's happening, buddy?
Nothing, man. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Just, dealing with trying to squeeze this in before my crazies get home. So if we get interrupted at some point here,
Right.
I guess we'll just have to deal with that.
Sure. It's all right.
We had a 2 and 3 week in our circa picks, which is wild because it's hard when we're trying to put our 2 picks together. I think you went 5 and 1 in your NFL picks,
Yeah.
and I went 3 and 2, and then together we
Wow.
went 2 and 3, which is always
Yep.
tough to swallow on that. But it still puts us at 15 and 10 in the year at 60%. So you need to get
Yep.
it back above there, and we'll be in good shape moving forward.
Yep. Yeah.
Just one of those weeks where we just didn't put it together right.
Yeah. It's just tough. Sometimes it's how you put together that card, and that's what makes this contest fun and exciting and disappointing all in the same time. So you're like, dang. But
Yeah.
oh well.
But
Not the end of the world.
we're at 60% still.
Yep.
Still sitting in a good spot there. I went 2 and 3 again in college football, which is about where my average is at, unfortunately, for college football right now. You went 3 and 3. You're still a game above 500 in college. I went 3 and 2 last week in the NFL, putting me at 15 and 11 on the year. I think that's right at 60, maybe just under. And you're at 18, 11 and 1 after a 5 and 1 week. I think you're up. That's around like 63 or 4%.
Nice. Yeah.
Just with quick math. So good shape there.
Yeah, definitely.
We can. Why don't we just go ahead and jump right into our appetizer menu, which is college football here. Again, I went 2 and 3 last week, 3 and 3 for you. We're kind of all over the place. I don't think either of us had Iowa or Iowa State in our cards for the first time all year last week. And it's going to be that way again for me this week.
Yeah, same here. I don't have either one this week. I don't. It's kind
If you made me pick, I think I would take both Iowa schools. Iowa's plus 10 right now, and Iowa State's plus 5. I don't love either game, but if I had to pick one, I think I would just take the points. And I think if it was reversed on that, I would go the opposite way too. So
yeah. I don't have a feel for either one. It's a wait for Iowa. It's just a wait and see. Like Deacon Hill played horrible last week. They faced Purdue, so Iowa does what they got to do to take care of those teams. And I don't know, first road test for this. I just got to wait and see. Like either Iowa's going to be in it, or it's going to look like Penn State again. And then as far as Iowa State's concerns, like there's somewhat hope, but is it fool's gold or what do we got?
they're a weird team right now. It'll be interesting to kind of see as they grow because they're so young, and then you're kind of just playing with house money. So again, I think we talked about it before too. It was from where they were at during the Iowa game to even, getting beat by 30 against Oklahoma. You actually walked away with that going, we showed some stuff that actually gave me some hope moving forward. So we continue to see that. I think we continue to keep building and racking up wins while doing so, and sneak into a bowl. I think could be one of Campbell's better coaching jobs, to be completely honest.
I 100% agree there. I actually told that to my UPS driver this morning.
I bet you get quite the relationship with him. doing
I
what
do.
you do at the shop there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been spent a little bit of time, get a couple packages there. But
Yeah.
why don't we jump into it here? I'm going to go back to the wagon. I have not been on the right side of Colorado, either for or against, for most of the season. I'm coming back this week and taking them at 11.5. I don't think Stanford's very good. I think Deion knows he needs to keep it rolling to kind of get that attention that's maybe shifted a little bit after some back-to-back losses and kind of a crappy win, if you can call it that, against, I think it was Arizona State last week. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to win this game and try to win handedly. So I'm going to take Deion and the Buffs at -11.5.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Arkansas plus 20 at Alabama. Here, I just think Arkansas is I've kind of had this team pegged, and they've lost 4 straight, so a little bit undervalued. 3 of those games are by 7 or less. Alabama,
this game just missed for me. It's too many points, I think, for this game.
Yeah, they just don't do it for me this year, right? Like, it's not your typical Alabama team that can go put up 40 on any given SEC school, and they just aren't built that way anymore. And so I don't know. It just seems like too many. A lot of respect given for Bama for a team that I think is very much down. So
fair enough. I got a small special here.
Oh, yes. I might have this one then.
It's a little stinky off-the-radar game that's going to be on ESPN2, I think.
Okay.
I've been betting James Madison quite a bit, one way or the other, and I've hit most of the year. So I'm taking James Madison -4 versus Georgia Southern.
I love it. This game is not on my radar, but I will be following you because I appreciate that.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that.
That's awesome. All right, I'm going to take Cal plus 13.5 against Utah. Cal to me is like I just think they're an underrated team. You know,
you've been following them quite a bit this year.
Yeah, you know, they scored 40 last week against Oregon State, so you know they can play like high scoring games, they can muck it up and play low scoring games. I don't know. Utah is off a bye. It's a little scary, but I just think Utah's eggs are all in. The next 2 weeks they play USC and Oregon. So I'm pretty much it's the spot play for me. I just think they're going to be looking ahead. And they just want to survive here, get out of this game, no injuries, and move on. So
big I don't like playing these big lines, but I don't think Purdue is any good. And getting less than 3 touchdowns with Ohio State, who I don't think is a world beater like they usually are this year, but I think Purdue is that bad. I'm taking Ohio State -19.5. I think this should be above a 3 touchdown spread. I think this is probably a point or 2 off. Just for that, I'm going to take Ohio State. I think it's going to be a blowout.
I have this one with you, so I am on board too. All right, I don't need to add anything to that. I'm going to take a team here. You know, a few weeks ago when Iowa State beat Oklahoma State, everyone thought that this Cowboys team was like the worst team in the Big 12, and you kind of heard this narrative, and I don't know. They're kind of a weird team to figure out right now. Well, they're +3 at home against Kansas. Kansas is without Daniels, the starting quarterback. That guy, I think he means a lot to them. Extremely mobile. So I don't know. Maybe Oklahoma State found something. Last week was pretty impressive what they did to K-State. So I'll roll the dice here with the backup quarterback on the road, and I'll take the home team getting points.
I'm taking Kansas.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yep, I think we're getting enough value on these football teams because I don't think Okie State is very good. Sure. And I think that we're getting value right now with Daniels being out.
Yep.
I think Kansas is just better than them. So I actually do have Kansas -3 in this card. I think it would be closer to 6 or 7 points if he was playing.
Sure. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna Texas A&M +3.5 at Tennessee. Here is we've seen Tennessee be preseason ranked. They were thought of to be this so-called good team. We both had Florida that week that they were just embarrassed at Florida. I don't think they're any good, quite frankly. I think the wrong team is favored here. I think they're living off. I think they're living off preseason hype. A&M let one kind of slip away against Bama last week.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were honestly the better team, but I think they bounce back here in a good way. So I'll take the 3.5.
All right, I'm behind that. I got one play left, and this has to be the game of the week, probably, right? Uh,
Washington, Oregon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in that game, and I just look. I'm not the biggest Penix guy. Maybe it's just me, but
Sure.
I'm just not sold on the guy yet. Maybe Katie's getting in my brain because he's a left-handed quarterback, and she's starting to rub off on me with their hatred of left-handed quarterbacks. Maybe that's all it is.
Yeah.
But I just think Oregon's better. I think defensively they're going to slow them down. I think Oregon's going to win. Like I do. I think the wrong team's favored here too. I think Oregon's a better football team. I think this should be a 3-point spread for Oregon, not against. And that's why I'm taking Oregon on the road, Washington. Yeah. But it's going to be fun to watch this game. I mean, the winner here is in the driver's seat to make the college football playoff.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, this is must-watch TV. I mean, people who haven't actually tuned into the Pac-12 this year, the conference.
The conference is great. These are two good football teams. I just think Oregon's head and shoulders. I just think they're better. I think they're a better team. I think they should be favored.
Yeah, fair. Let's see. I got one more here. No, I got two more. Missouri plus 2.5 at Kentucky. To me, like Kentucky felt like they were in a great spot last week at Georgia, and boy, did they fail.
Yep, I missed there, and I thought I said it last week as my least confident pick because it was a second week in a row I was going against Georgia at the exact same spread. Yeah, they're at 14.5, and then it was exactly what I was afraid of happened. They came up and woke up and just smacked the life out of Kentucky, and that could be demoralizing there too. I get it.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of basing it off of that. It's like, man, they were in a good spot and failed to show up. And Missouri's I think Missouri's just going to win a bounce. But they had a goofy, fluky, weird loss that end of the game to LSU last week.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I just think Missouri's just much improved from last season. And really, Kentucky's only favorite here because of their record. So I'm going to take Missouri plus 2.5.
I can get behind that.
All right. I got one more, and it's ugly.
Small special.
Yeah, I mean it's a big game, but it's a dog no one wants. Miami, Florida plus Florida, North Carolina. Miami's lucky they didn't fire coaches last week.
Well, I just his explanation after the game, and you just got to get a hold on the football too. You kneel, the game's over. It is 1,000% when your kids do everything right and you win the football game. So you went for adversity. His explanation after the game was horrible. I'm not sure if he came back and just really owned it the rest of the week.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But his presser made me think. And then I went back. They showed he's done this before. He lost a game at Oregon doing the exact same thing. So this wasn't a first-time deal. Right. This tells me right here in the big moments and stuff. I mean, that is – first of all, we talked about this a lot. How these coaches in big-time programs, and this is in the NFL too, have just their brains completely fry and freeze up with clock situation, man. And maybe they didn't play enough Madden. Maybe I've played too much in my lifetime. I haven't played in 10 years, but just playing video games and managing the situation of what you're down with the quick math on scores, whether or not to go for 2 or not, and whether or not to kick the field goal or go for it, and just where the clock's at and running it down. That was insanity. You snap the ball, you knee it, the game's over.
It's over.
You won the game.
Right.
The only thing you could do to give them a chance to win this game was try to run and get yards and lose the football. That's the only chance you had, and then they did, and they deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It just sets up for a good bounce back. North Carolina is a weird, like defensively, they're no good. They give up.
Look, they have a stud at quarterback, and that's it. The rest of their team's not that good. Drake May's a freak. I love Drake May. I'm on record saying I think he has a chance to be better than Caleb Williams in the draft. So
I actually don't disagree with that.
The number 2 teams, I think he'll be a second quarterback off the board, and I think you're getting the stud. I think he's incredible, but his team's not. So I actually completely agree with you on this play. I'll probably be following you.
Okay, cool.
That's all I got. I got 5 plays for me here and 6 for you. We can kind of run through them quick here. I had Colorado minus 11.5, James Madison minus 4, Ohio State minus 19.5, Kansas minus 3, and Oregon plus 3. And for Small here, I had 6 plays with Kansas plus 20, Cal plus 13.5, Ohio State minus 19.5, Texas A&M plus 3.5, Missouri plus 2.5, and Miami, Florida plus 4. That'll do it for our NCAA picks there too. So before we jump in the NFL here, let's go ahead and hear from a word from our sponsors at Revelton.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
And thanks again to our sponsors at Revelton. We're back here again with another episode of the Ball Don't Lie podcast, brought to you by Three Beards Media. I'm Ted Hawley. He's Justin Smool. Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
The main course, the NFL. New hat came in today, just in time for the Denver smashing on Thursday Night Football. Or will it be?
Yeah. Who knows?
So this is just one of those deals. I don't know. We got our producer Chris here coming in saying the Bears won't take Williams. Broncos at 3 ? Or may? Look, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I love the NFL draft. I mean, this is going to be crazy, and this is going to be – there's more quarterback – and anytime you have a lot of quarterback prospects, it always makes the draft better. 2 years ago, and you had – I think Pickett was the one that went in the first round. And quite frankly, if it wasn't just a need that year, he's not a first-round quarterback. He's a guy you take in the second or third round, you're happy with it. He was overvalued there, and the Steelers needed a quarterback. It was a position play for them. He was from there. They saw him a lot. But this year, there's a chance.
Bryce Young was too, and look what Carolina.
Well, you mean you were saying that too. But look, there is legitimate. If Sanders comes out too, there's going to be 3-4 guys that most years would be the first quarterback off the board if they came out. And there's 5, 6, maybe squeeze 7 in quarterbacks that could go in the first round this year, depending on who comes back and who stays. There might be some position play here now too, because with the NIL, you have to take that in mind with like, you know what, I can go make some money and come back and maybe be the first quarterback off the board next year. So there'll be a lot of that in there. And again, he asked here, will the Bears take – the Bears are going to – here's the deal. The Bears are not set with Fields yet. He has a full audition for the rest of the year. Yep. They have a chance to have the number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft because they had Carolina's pick as well. I mean, they're going to have 2 picks in the top 5. I don't see the Bears playing themselves out of that. I don't see Carolina playing themselves out of that. So if there's a guy they want, they can package and get up to where they need to get a guy. I do not think Fields has solidified himself as staying with the Bears yet, but I also think he has a chance. I mean, he has the rest of the year. He's going to have the rest of the year to prove it. He's not going to get benched. They're going to see exactly what he has, and they can put stuff out on tape. If they go out and he plays well and they still have the first or second – if they still have the first pick in the draft, whether it's from them or the Panthers, Fields plays well, that's good for them anyways. That's more trade value, and they'll still take the guy they want. I mean, look where the football team's at anyways. If they have the first pick in the draft, I don't think there's any way Fields is on the roster next year. I think they would start that quarterback market over, take somebody early with their young team they're building anyway, instead of choosing to pay Fields in the next year or two instead. I don't see that, especially with the talent coming up, and they'll try to get what they can for Fields. I think the Bears have the first pick in the draft. You will see them take Caleb Williams, but he said unless he's not going to play there. That's what you deal with there is. But again, I like Drake May. So maybe that's deal 2 is where if they have the first and second pick, they trade out of 1 and trade Fields and take Drake May at 2, and they get all these assets back. I mean, they need a lot of help in a lot of areas, and if you can leverage yourself with getting something out of Fields and one of those picks too, you can kind of re-jump and restart that process anyway. They need to get rid of Eberflus. I think it's a vanilla offense they have. They're not playing well defensively as defensive guy anyway. You haven't seen enough there. I know they don't want turnover, but if you're a Bears fan, you have a lot to be excited about a little bit, kind of more so than even the Broncos. I mean, even if we do take a quarterback, that'd be interesting. I can see the thought process behind it. We still have Russ on the hook for 3 full years to where if he's not going to be our quarterback, we're going to be paying for him anyway. So I would rather be in the Bears situation currently than where Denver sits for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see.
The draft will be fun.
Yeah, it will. Be
we talked about having our buddy Matt Mickelson on this week, and we kind of had some time things today. So I just talked to him a little bit. He hit 3, hitting one of these bets on these long shot player prop parlays. I mean, he does the extreme ones instead of just like somebody having 150 yards. He's like extreme alternate up to like 150. He hit in the Bears game. He had like 2+ touchdowns for more, 150+ yards, whatever catches, and so on and so on. So he hit one in that Bears game for $50 and made like almost 10 grand. Yeah. And then he hit another one for $100 bet that paid him like about the same, or another 10 grand. And then he hit a third one in the same weekend. He made 3 bets, I think, that he risked $200 on and made about $25,000 on. So that was incredible. I just want to give him a shout out on that. We're going to have him talk about it. Yeah. He did send me his play for tonight. He has 2 different ones.
He has some tonight.
Yeah, so he does have some for tonight.
Shout out, Matt.
Let's go. Shout out Matt Mickelson. Rashee Rice. So this is all together. You got to play them together. Okay. Rashee Rice, anytime TD. Okay. And Rashee Rice, 80+ yards, over 80+ yards. Marvin Mims, anytime touchdown, and Mims over 21.5 yards receiving. That was one of his plays. And then his other stretch one was Patrick Mahomes, 4 or more touchdown passes, and Travis Kelce, 3 or more touchdown catches for his long shot ones. So if you think he can stay hot on this, go ahead and jump on those. I'll probably be throwing a couple bucks on it just because I'll be some serious.
The odds have to be crazy for that second one.
The second one. So that second one with the touchdowns, that's the stuff he hit. His last 3 were that kind of stuff on that crazy unit blowing up. But shout out, Matt. Those are good hits. It's always fun when those happen. Listen, we say put pizza money on it. He put a little more than pizza money on those bets. Yeah. This is where you play your pizza money on. You put your $5, your $10 tops on these type of bets, and they're awesome just to chase if you can hit one of them.
That's awesome.
But I got 5, maybe 6 plays. I cannot decide if I'm adding a 6th play here yet, but it could be a potential play for us in our circa plays if we need to agree. But I don't know how many plays you have this week, but I'll let you go ahead and start us off.
Okay, first one, I'm going to take the Saints -1 at the Texans. Here, I'm not really giving the Saints a whole lot of credit from last week, right? I liked them last week, and they just dominated the Patriots, but the defense is for real here. And I think too, look, we both like Stroud. We both like what the Texans are doing, but it's just a step up in class, right? And even though Stroud was impressive that last drive, led him down the field. We had the Falcons last week in a winner for us.
We did. I mean, it was a sweat. We just hit it. It was an absolute sweat, but
the Texans got to play. They're low scoring team, right? And this is going to be just a different test for Stroud.
Well, this made my card as well, so this will absolutely be a circa play for us.
Okay.
But again, Stroud has to continue. He's played perfect football.
He has.
To this point too, and he's still a rookie quarterback. So for them to be in these games, and they're going to lose these close games too, he has to be absolutely perfect for them to do this. And this is an opportunistic defense and a very good defense. And I just think this is a week where you're actually going to see he is still a rookie. He's going to make mistakes, and their offensive line is not very good. So I just think this is the week where he's going to show a little more of the rookie stuff because they asked him to do a lot and asked him to be perfect, which is a lot to ask a young kid on a not very good football team. This is my favorite play of the week is the Saints -1.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Well, we start off with agreement right out of the gate. That's nice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll keep it here on the Thursday night game. I'm going back to again. Got the new hat in. Going to play the Broncos. The Chiefs are, in their last 25 games, are 11-14 against the spread. They win a lot. They don't cover that much.
No, they don't.
I think that this year they've covered more than they have in the past. I think they're like 3-2 ATS this year.
Yeah.
This is a lot of points. They can still dominate the football game, and Russell Wilson scores a touchdown with 2 minutes to go, and they lose by 10.
Yeah.
That's a cover.
Yeah.
So I just think this is a lot. I don't think Denver's live here. I do not think it's going to be a blowout tonight for whatever reason. I just think that this is nuts. I saw Kelsey's coming back. He's playing this week. You still have Mahomes. It's a short week. It's a division game still. Weather. I get it. Denver's been an absolute disaster.
There's weather down there today too.
And look, that mucks it up on that too. Yeah. I really do think they're going to cover. I think I can keep it within 10. And that's all I got to do to cover this spread. I actually got it at 11 right now. Guess it was at 10.5 start today. It's already up to 11. Be interesting to see where that goes by kickoff. But I got Denver plus 11 tonight.
All right. Let's see here. Boy, I got some ugly ones, man. Let's go. It is a tough week. Bears +3 against the Vikings.
Well, I'm glad that we waited on this, and so I want to see it because the Vikings just missed for me.
Really?
So
Okay.
I want to hear you why on this because the Vikings just missed for me.
So a few things. First, weather. There's supposed to be some weather going through. I think that does favor Fields a little bit in this situation. I also think losing Jefferson is clearly it's just a major
Well, I
loss.
mean, he's the most important non-quarterback player to their team success in the league, I think.
I would agree, 100%.
I'm not saying you can argue he's the best receiver now, but if you take away Hill on Miami, they still got other weapons running around too. I think he's so important to their success. It's nuts.
Yes.
Kelsey might be a close second, honestly.
Yeah, you can make the argument.
Sure.
So I just wonder where the Vikings heads are at after last week's loss, right? That probably felt like to them just a huge, like it was kind of demoralizing, I think, for them.
It was. But the other reason here too that they missed for me is I don't think Jordan Addison practiced yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So you might be without your number 1 and 2 receivers, and that's what kept it off my card. I do still like Minnesota, though, and just a kind of a weird Kirk Cousins bounce back under the radar type game. It kind of screams at him to do that. But the weather can be a part there, too. I'll stay away from it, but I don't think this will make our circa.
Okay. Yeah, and the other thing, too, with me is like I don't know the like crazy X's and O's here, but I know what my eyes tell me. And the Bears the last 2 weeks have definitely changed up the game plan with Fields. They like if you watch the Thursday night game against the Commanders, that was a whole different Bears look.
Sure.
The playbook was different. Whatever they did, it was different. And I think, maybe we see that go. Maybe they're at this.
Well, I mean, look, they had the Broncos beat.
They did.
They gave up a 3-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter.
Right.
They should be off back-to-back wins right now.
Right. So, and I don't know. So I'm just kind of going off the last 2 weeks based upon the Bears. I'm like, you know what? I at +3. I mean, geez.
Look, this is enough to make me completely stay away from the game. I don't love this play, but everything you're saying absolutely makes sense.
Okay, sure.
Another play here. I'm going to ride. We're going to see if it's fool's gold. We're really going to find out because yes, the Bengals look back. It was against a bad Arizona team. But the connection back with Chase, just getting the football, Burrow actually moved around the pocket a lot better. I know you're not very big on the Bengals anyway. I am. We're just completely different avenues on how we feel about them. That's just probably not going to change. I just think that this is a spot to where for them, the season has to keep going. We talked about it last week. You have to get it done here to move forward.
Yep.
They're not quite in that desperation mode now, but this is a team against a good team to show what he's got. They're 2.5-point favorites. I don't know if you can hear The Office go in the background. The theme song's going there. That's fine. But
No.
they're at home playing Seattle. It's a long – Seattle always traveling a long ways is something for me on that too. And it's supposed to be cold again. Yeah. I think they're going to win this football game. And if I think they're going to win the football game, hopefully they cover on that. I do think it's going to be a good football game.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Bengals again so we can hop back on that train.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of off this one. I would just say like Pete Carroll off the bye. The Seattle's kind of that goofy team to figure out.
They're really hard to figure out. I don't know if they're good or not. I didn't know that last year. I still don't have any idea.
I mean, they have that nice road win at the Lions.
Sure, but then they also got thumped by the Rams.
Yeah, in week 1. Yeah, they're a really weird team. And then the other two wins were Carolina and the Giants, I believe. Yeah, because we had them on the Monday night game.
Yeah. I just think that this is a spot to where the same, like you said, you know what team you're getting with Seattle. I think it's week to week. I just think there's desperation mode with Cincinnati to where they're that kind of team because it's not just being mediocre is such a step back for the last 2 seasons that they have to get this game.
Yeah, they do. It is a must win. I
think T. Higgins is going to play too, which is big. They didn't have him.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a big addition. Yeah, and I don't like the Bengals defense too. I don't like that defense.
No, that is the problem. Is defensively they're softer in the middle than they have been. So we're gonna see if that gets fixed or not.
Okay. All right. I got maybe an uglier play than the last one. Jets +7. I just can't get out of my head here. This is the game. I just like tossed and turned all week on this. I look at these cards so goofy, and like I look at the 6-point teasers that Joe Public is running to the counter, and everybody and their mother this week is going to be teasing the Niners down to a pick 'em, the Eagles down to a pick 'em. I mean, the Eagles are just not impressive, and yes,
they have not been so far. They're
undefeated and they're getting the job done, and I get it. But at some point it's gonna break, and it truly feels like it's this week. The Jets defense is solid. We saw this team get bet down in that Sunday night game against Kansas City, right? And we thought like the fix was in, and maybe it is. Hell, I don't know. Maybe it will be again. We don't know. I mean, goofy stuff happens every week in this league. So
Very
7
much.
points, 7 points is a ton. The Eagles' red zone offense is like second or third worst right now in the league. They just aren't putting up the points that they used to. And if you're only going to score 23 or 24, I mean, 7 points is a ton to give up.
Yeah, it's just for me, what would scare me on this play, and look, I get what you're saying because that defense is for real. It just is. Can they keep bringing it that much? And that offensive line is so bad for the Jets that you have to be so good and quick with the football, and it's just putting in so much on. And Zach Wilson isn't any good. Look, he's not the number 2 overall pick, so that's what he keeps getting done to. He's a backup quarterback in this league.
Yep. Yeah.
He is a backup quarterback. So
For sure.
So I get your play there. And hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but Bradley just got home. I have 2 more plays left here, and I think this one's going to be disgusting. I don't think you're going to like it for lots of reasons. It's against your team and a team that you don't like. I'm going to the well and taking the Patriots +3 at Vegas.
Okay.
The Patriots have been complete. Every talking head and talking show is Bill Belichick getting fired? Is the headline on every single talk show this week and today as I was listening. They're winning the football game.
Okay.
I still don't think the Raiders are very good.
No.
And I don't think the Patriots are good either, but this is a straight spot play against 2 bad football teams that can go either way. And I just think they have to be locked in this week. But if the Raiders come and blow the doors off the Patriots, boy, it'll be nuts next week on what they're talking about if they're already stirring up the well here.
So this is funny. I agree with you here because I have no problem betting against the Raiders. And I just knew last week that and I've said this before because I don't like Green. I think Green Bay's crazy overrated. And the fact that they were favored, I had the Raiders last week. I'm like, there is no way that Packers deserve.
I know Jordan Walker doesn't want to hear this, but look, this isn't a rookie playing. I get it. He's a young quarterback playing, but man, I'd be nervous about.
I said it when he was on with us. Like the guy ain't good. Sorry.
He doesn't look the part yet. That's for sure.
No, and look, so this Raiders team, if you just bet them as like small dogs or 3-point dogs in the last 3 seasons, you're doing pretty well. If you fade them when they start turning the corner to these 3 and 3.5 point favorites, you're going to do well. This isn't a good role or spot for them to be in. And
the spot play here is off the charts on why everybody I bet the public's going to be heavy on Vegas here.
Yes. And so, yes, you're right. No, I agree. It's Patriots or nothing here. I was really hoping that Belichick would name Zappy the starter, and then I would have pushed the chips all in. But that's my
guy.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But I totally agree. Like, if there's ever a max effort for the Patriots, it's this week. So I'm behind it. I'm gonna add here. I got a couple more. I'm gonna take the Cardinals +7, and I think this Rams team is goofy, right? So they've been a favorite, or they've been a dog every single game so far this season, and now all of a sudden they're favored by 7 over a division rival. Now McVay does have the number, but I think the Cardinal love is kind of gone, right? They didn't cover 2 weeks ago against the Niners. They didn't cover last week against the Bengals, but here they are in kind of a little bit better spot against the division rival, catching the full touchdown. I don't know if this Rams team is built to be laying. It's kind of similar to the Raiders, right? Like, do you really want to lay it with a Rams team, give them touchdown to anybody? Not for me.
All right, I get that. What did you get the line at?
7+7 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's a really good line for that. This is a just miss for me too. This is a possibility to make our stuff on that. So
Okay.
I have one play left, I believe, and it'd be interesting to see what you think about this.
All right.
The line's up to 2.5 now, and that's a Monday Night Football. I'm on the record of not being the biggest Chargers fan in the world, especially with their head coach. I do think Dallas is a better football team then, but there's just something weird about them Cowboys getting punched in the mouth and kind of an identity crisis thing right now. And the Chargers still in that must-win situation too. This is at home. I think it should probably be closer to a pick 'em. So I love getting the points here. I'm going to take the Chargers at home, getting 2.5.
Yeah, I completely agree. Chargers are on it for me. I like him too. I think Dallas is honestly, we talk about teams to figure out, right? Well, who the hell is this Dallas team? We don't. So they beat the Giants week 1. Well, how does that look? No good. They beat Zach Wilson and the Jets week 2. How does that look? Well, not that impressive, right? I mean, then they go lose to the Cardinals, and then they beat the Patriots. Well, we don't know anything about this Cowboys team right now.
No, we haven't. And they're that typical team that they beat up on those. When they beat the teams, they make it look bad and weird. But look, you lost to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like the Cardinals are not good.
No.
So there's all kinds of stuff on this to where I'm with you. Look, Dak is just
Chargers are off
Jerry's got a decision to make there. Are you going to go pay this guy $50-60 million? Like, you're looking at places like Denver that have – I mean, Denver's been paying Russell Wilson that money. Like, Russell Wilson's still a starting quarterback in the NFL, but you don't want to be paying him over $50 million on cap hits. They have to be looking around going like, man. And if you think that them bringing in Trey Lance to get a good, close look at him for a year wasn't intentional on what they're going to do with Dak, you're not paying attention because if he's not sure that Dak's going to be that guy to pay that money to, he's going to move on and go elsewhere. I mean, you got a Kirk Cousins out there in the offseason you can maybe get for $30 to $35 million a year instead of $50+ million.
Yep.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, why is he different than Dak? I don't think Dak is going to take less money than that. And I think somebody else out there will probably go ahead and pay him the money he wants because people are so crazy on that part too. You know, maybe in Atlanta or somebody comes in and overpays for him. I do still think Fields has a chance to end up in Atlanta. He's a Georgia kid, and he's like a better version of what Art did with Tannehill. So watch that. But I'm taking the Chargers. Sounds like you're on them too. That'll be another circa play for us. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I got one more here to add, and it's a late one, and I'm going to take the Commanders +2.5 at the Falcons. It's kind of the other thing, and like
the spot play, I like it.
Yeah, there's just certain teams, right? Like I think people are forgetting the Commanders took the Eagles down to the wire. In fact, they should have went for 2. That made no sense to take that game to overtime. We talked about, you alluded to coaches making stupid decisions. That was the one. I've listened to so many podcasts that actually in game, when that game went to overtime, the Eagles were -200 to win the game. Well, what the Commanders have, your odds are way better.
You had it there. You need 2 yards. Line it up and take your chance. You have 2 yards and you win the game.
Yes.
You're when you have chances to steal games like that,
you do it.
You have to go do that.
You do it.
And the teams that don't do that, like if the reverse fit, Philly scores there, they want to go to overtime. They know they're better. Right. We're going to extend the game with that. They have a better chance to win. It was an absolute mistake there.
Yep.
Real time, everybody was saying it too. It was
So anyway, I just think that Sam Howell, I think they're going to be able to move the ball here. That took a lot out of the Falcons, I think, last week, right? Coming back from that London trip and playing this close game. I just kind of question how much will be kind of left in the tank. And I think the Commanders are going to be desperate after that.
I think this is 2 teams that have such small margin to error for their stuff too, that it's going to be a close football game. So saying the Commanders win the game wouldn't shock me. And it wouldn't shock me if, look, the Falcons come down and do the same thing. They're down 1 and have to go get a drive to kick a field goal and win by 2. Still a cover. So, I'm with you too. I still like my over for the wins and the Falcons this year. They're going to win, but they're a lot of spot plays. I said that they're going to be a spot play where I'm like just this week, it hasn't kind of written all over for them to give one back. They'll bounce back and be within a 4-point spread one or the other next week too, with whoever they're playing. So,
right.
I can get behind that.
Yep. That's all I got.
Well, cool. I got 5 plays this week. You have 6. Again, we are 15-10 on the season for our Circa plays. You are 18-11-1 in the NFL. I am 15-11 in the NFL. We will publish our Circa plays usually on Friday or Saturday morning. We'll get those put out there and what we play for that. But I'll read through here quickly again. I have 5 plays were Denver tonight plus 11, Saints -1, Patriots +3, Bengals -2.5, and the Chargers +2.5. I had 6 plays for Justin with the Saints -1, Bears +3, Jets +7, Cards +7, Chargers +2.5, and the Commanders +2.5. Again, thank you to our sponsors at Revelton and Three Beards Media. Thanks to Chris Spaghetti in the background producing this for us. You got anything to add this week?
No, man. I'm another week here. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, time for us to get back on that website wins, getting 3 or more wins. I can feel it. It's a 4-1 week for us. I can feel it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
All right. Well, again, I'm Ted. He's Justin. Cash that ticket.
Drop it.